In the world of semiconductors, some moves cause ripples, and some create absolute tidal waves. Well, today, we're looking at a tidal wave. We're talking about a massive acquisition that's set to redefine the future of, well, pretty much everything, from your smart home to the factory floor.
For decades, Texas Instruments has been this cornerstone of the electronics industry, right? They're massive, they're reliable, but let's be honest, they're often kind of predictable. But something's changed. The quiet giant just woke up. And believe me, it is making its biggest, most aggressive move in years. This signals a huge shift in the battle for the Internet of Things. And this is the number that puts it all into perspective. $7.5 billion. And that's all cash. That is the price tag for Texas Instruments to basically swallow a much smaller but incredibly strategic competitor. Look, this isn't just an acquisition. This is a declaration of war for who's going to own the next decade of tech.
So to really get why this is all happening, we've got to look at the key players. Because this isn't just one company buying another. It's a total clash of cultures and strategies. We've got 3 companies here, and each one has a radically different philosophy for how to win in the cutthroat world of semiconductors.
So first up, you have the giant, Texas Instruments. Think of them as the ultimate industrial machine. They are a vertically integrated behemoth, which is just a fancy way of saying they do everything themselves. I mean, with a mind-boggling portfolio of over 80,000 products, their core strategy is all about one thing: scale. By building their own massive 300mm manufacturing plants, they can churn out chips for about 40% less than their competitors. It's all about winning through sheer, overwhelming force. Then you have the company they're buying, Silicon Labs, the IoT specialist. And they are the complete opposite of TI. They're what's called a fabless innovator, meaning they don't own a single factory. Nope. Instead, they pour every ounce of their resources into designing the most cutting-edge wireless tech for the Internet of Things. Their game isn't scale, it's specialization. They're obsessed with complex software, security, and making sure all our smart devices can actually talk to each other.
And finally, there's this other specialist, Power Integrations, and they're fighting a different, but you could argue, an equally important battle. They're not focused on connecting devices, but on powering them as efficiently as possible. And their secret weapon? It's a breakthrough material called gallium nitride, or GaN. The promise is to make our gadgets smaller, cooler, and waste way less energy.
So you have 3 very different companies, 3 totally different game plans. But what happens when the giant decides it absolutely needs the specialist's brain power? Well, on one fateful day, 2 of these pads slammed into each other and it sent shockwaves through the entire industry. And here are the cold, hard facts. On February 4th, 2026, Texas Instruments, the giant, officially announced it was buying Silicon Labs, the specialist. All-cash deal. That tells you this was a must-have acquisition for them. But that just begs the huge question: why? I mean, really, why would a company that's built its entire empire on massive in-house manufacturing suddenly decide it needs to spend billions on a company that doesn't own a single factory? To answer that, we have to look at the fundamental battle of their business models.
Okay, now this is where the story gets really juicy. Take a look at the revenue. TI is a monster, more than 20 times the size of Silicon Labs. But now, look at that last line, R&D intensity. Silicon Labs is plowing a massive 45% of its revenue straight back into research and development. TI, just under 12%. And that tells you everything. TI is a machine built for production, SLAB is a lab built for pure innovation.
And here's what that size difference looks like. It's almost comical, isn't it? On one side, you have the skyscraper of Texas Instruments revenue, and on the other, this little office building that is Silicon Labs. So the billion-dollar question, or I guess the $7.5 billion question, is what does that little building have that the skyscraper needs so badly?
It all comes down to their moats, the competitive advantages that protect their businesses. TI's moat is physical. It's all about those huge factories that give them a 40% cost advantage and a secure supply chain. Silicon Labs' moat, on the other hand, is all intellectual. It's their world-class expertise in the incredibly complex software and security needed to make wireless tech just work. You could say one builds the roads and the other designs the intelligent traffic that runs on them. So TI is building its empire by buying the absolute best in connectivity. It's a massive deal, no doubt. But what if the most important battle for the future of electronics isn't about connectivity at all? What if it's about something way more fundamental, something we all just take for granted? I'm talking about power.
And this brings us to what we're calling the unseen GaN war. This is where our third company, Power Integrations, comes storming back into the picture. See, they're waging this quiet revolution that's centered on one remarkable material, and they're betting that how we power our devices is actually more important than how we connect them.
And that material is gallium nitride, or GaN. Now, for decades, silicon has been the foundation of everything. GaN is basically its successor. It's a next-gen material that is just flat out better at handling electricity. It wastes way less energy as heat, and that means you can build power supplies, chargers, and motors that are dramatically smaller, cooler, and way more powerful.
And Power Integrations, or POI, they are all in on GaN. This focus gives them some incredible advantages. Their tech is what enables those tiny, super-fast chargers you see for new phones. And because they're so efficient, their chips often get rid of the need for those bulky metal heat sinks, which saves cost and space. But now, they're taking this tech into the most demanding markets on the planet: electric vehicle drivetrains and the insanely power-hungry servers that run AI data centers.
So we have these two major stories playing out. You've got the consolidation of hardware and connectivity with TI and Silicon Labs, and then you have this revolution in power efficiency with Power Integrations. So let's bring it all together and see what this actually means for the future of, well, everything. So back to the main event. Why did the giant buy the specialist? It's simple, and honestly, it's brilliant. TI makes all the foundational chips, the nuts and bolts, but it had a massive gap, actually connecting them to the internet. By buying Silicon Labs, TI instantly gets best-in-class technology for all the key standards: Bluetooth for your headphones, Zigbee for your smart lights, and the new big one, Matter, which is designed to make your whole smart home just work. In one move, they bought the keys to the entire connected kingdom. And this chart shows you exactly which kingdoms they were after. Over half of Silicon Labs' business is in the huge industrial and commercial IoT space. We're talking smart factories, automated warehouses, that kind of thing. And the other 43%? That's in home and life. Your smart thermostats, connected health gadgets, all the stuff filling up our homes. These are two of the biggest growth markets for the next decade, period.
So here's the winner-takes-all playbook they're running. Step 1, TI provides the endless supply of cheap, reliable foundational chips. Step 2, Silicon Labs' software and wireless genius provides a seamless connectivity to tie it all together. And Step 3, the combined company becomes this unbeatable one-stop shop for building the next generation of smart everything, from your fridge to the robots in an Amazon warehouse.
Now look, this is a pretty complex story, and we've really only scratched the surface here. If you want to dive way deeper into the numbers and the strategies of all these companies, the full comparative audit from HDIN Research is available. All you got to do is send an email to the address you see right there on the screen.
Which leaves us with one final, really provocative question. Texas Instruments is betting the farm that the winner is whoever can build and connect the most chips at the lowest cost. It's a volume play. But Power Integrations is betting that in a world that's constrained by energy, the winner is the one who makes every single one of those chips the most efficient it can possibly be. So as our world gets smarter and smarter, which strategy is going to come out on top? That's something to think about.